हम खड़े हैं मुंबई में स्थित नेहरू साइंस सेंटर में, जहां पर एक इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवलिंग एग्जीबिशन शोकेस की जा रही है, जो कि काफ़ी जगहों से चलकर फाइनली मुंबई में आई है, जहां पर पेंडेमिक के दौरान यूज़ की गई वैक्सीन को लेकर जो है एग्जीबिशन को दर्शाया जा रहा है कि किस तरीके से वैक्सीनेशन ने एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल अदा किया है पेंडेमिक के दौरान। तो आइए ले चलते हैं अंदर और दिखाते हैं आपको कि किस तरीके से एग्जीबिशन को दर्शाया जा रहा है। सर, सबसे पहले तो आपको बहुत बहुत नमस्कार और बधाई कि जो नेशनल काउंसिल साइंस म्यूज़ियम है भारत में, जिसने कोलैबोरेट किया लंदन साइंस म्यूज़ियम के साथ एक बेहतरीन एग्जीबिशन तैयार करने के लिए, जिसने पेंडेमिक के दौरान जो वैक्सीनेशन था और पेंडेमिक का किस तरीके से एरा चला है साइंटिफिक नज़रिए से उसे दर्शाने की कोशिश की है, जो कि आप नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं सरकार की ओर से। तो प्लीज़ क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
ये धन्यवाद पहले मैं देना चाहूँगा आपको और सभी दर्शकों को। ये जो एग्जीबिशन हमने बनाया है, ये हम लोग का समझिए कि लगभग 1 से 1.5 साल का जो रिसर्च है उसके दौरान बनाया गया। और हमने जब साइंस म्यूजियम ग्रुप हमारे पास आइडिया लेके आई, तो हम लोगों ने भी सोचा कि क्यों नहीं हम लोग भी अपनी तरफ से जो इंडिया की स्टोरी है, सक्सेस स्टोरी, उसे भी डिपिक्ट करें, क्योंकि ये ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 2021 की बात हो रही थी, 2022 चल रही थी। तो हमने फिर सोचा कि जब हम करना चाहते हैं तो एक अच्छी एग्जीबिशन करें जिसमें सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स को हम साथ में लें और सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स का जो उनका जो व्यू पॉइंट है, बिकॉज हम ये केवल कोविड वैक्सीन नहीं था लेकिन हर तरह की वैक्सीन के बारे में, बिकॉज इंडिया जो बोलते हैं फार्मेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड है वैक्सीन बनाने के लिए, वैक्सीन और दवाओं बनाने के लिए। तो हमको ये था कि हमें ऐसा दिखाना था कि हम किसी से कम नहीं है, मतलब इंडिया एज ए लीडर इन वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के कहीं भी ये नहीं सोचा जा सकता कि इतने शॉर्ट समय में, इतने कम समय में, लगभग 1 साल के अंदर में इंडिया खुद अपनी इंडिजिनस वैक्सीन बनाएगी। और लगभग आज के डेट में बोलें तो लगभग 200 करोड़ लोगों को वैक्सीनेशन दिया गया है, मतलब डिफरेंट डोजेस दिए गए, 200 करोड़ से ऊपर डोजेस दिए गए हैं। ये अपने आप में एक अजूबा है और ये मतलब दर्शाता है कि हमारे जो साइंटिस्ट अगर सोच लें तो मतलब वो कर सकते हैं इस तरह का, और हमारे पास कैपेबिलिटी है करने के लिए। इस दौरान हमने ये भी देखा कि जो इंडिया की कैपेबिलिटी थी वो बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ी, मतलब इन द सेंस ऑफ जहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं कि पीपीई किट नहीं मैन्युफैक्चर करते थे, हम इंपोर्ट करते थे, हम अभी वर्ल्ड के टॉप लार्जेस्ट एक्सपोर्टर हैं। जहाँ पे हम जो वैक्सीन वायल्स बनते थे वहाँ पे हम एक्सपोर्टर हैं। हम अपनी क्षमता को दिखा सकें और सभी साइंटिस्ट ने जो वर्क किया,
स्पेशली जहाँ पे हम सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट को नहीं भूल सकते, उसके बाद जो गवर्नमेंट का रोल आता है ट्रायल्स, रिजल्ट्स एंड अप्रूवल, तो उसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
जी, वहाँ भी हम लोगों ने जब बात की कि सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट डेफिनेटली पूरे जो उन्होंने को एस्ट्राजेनेका के साथ मिलकर बनाया और उसका जो अप्रूवल देने का, बिकॉज ये भी था कि गवर्नमेंट को भी अपना एक काम करना था जिस तरह से कैसे कितनी जल्दी अप्रूवल दें, बिकॉज ये एक ऐसा पीरियड था, नॉर्मली आपको 4 से 10 साल लग जाते हैं एक वैक्सीन को मार्केट में लाने के लिए। यहाँ तो आपके लिए जल्दी थी, विदिन 6 मंथ्स, 8 महीना, 9 महीने के अंदर में करना था। लेकिन आई थिंक हमारे रेगुलेटर्स, हमारे पॉलिसी मेकर्स, हमारे सभी लोगों ने उसको एकदम, जैसे मैं जब बात कर रहा था कि वो रात में उनकी जो ट्रायल रिजल्ट जाती थी पूरे ग्लोबली सर्कुलेट होती थी, उसकी वेटिंग होती थी और अप्रूवल इतने फास्ट होते थे। तो एक आई थिंक इट्स पूरा इकोसिस्टम जो क्रिएट कर रहा था उस समय, वो पूरी तरह से था कि मतलब हम अपने देशवासियों को कैसे बचा सकें और उसके लिए हम कितनी ज़्यादा वैक्सीन्स हम बना सकें, क्योंकि ये यहाँ पे मिलियन की बात नहीं हो रही है, यहाँ पे बिलियन लोगों की बात हो रही है।
भी इंडिया को जो है विश्व गुरु और खासकर से पेंडेमिक के दौरान एक मेंटोर के रूप में देखा गया है, जिसने इतना प्रॉम्प्ट एक्शन लिया और अपने लोगों को बचाने के बाद वैक्सीन को सप्लाई भी किया, स्पेशली अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज़ में जहाँ पे कोई ध्यान नहीं दे रहा था।
बिल्कुल, जो वैक्सीन मैत्री प्रोजेक्ट था गवर्नमेंट का, जिसमें उन्होंने आई थिंक 100 से 116 से ज़्यादा देशों को सप्लाई किया, ये हमारी पॉलिसी थी कि हम अपने, बिकॉज ये ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए है और वो भी हम फ्री दे रहे थे। ये भी एक मानने की बात है कि पूरे वर्ल्ड में देखें आप, वैक्सीन का प्राइस था इतना था, लेकिन भारत में उसे फ्री दिया गया। जो लोग नहीं अफोर्ड कर सकते उनको फ्री दिया गया, जो लोग अफोर्ड कर उनको बहुत नॉमिनल प्राइस पे दिया गया।
सर, अब मैं आपका ध्यान ले जाऊंगा ऑफ कोर्स इस इंटरनेशनल एग्जीबिशन को लेकर, जो कि एक ट्रैवलिंग एग्जीबिशन है। सर, ये कहाँ से चली, अब मुंबई में आई, उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए और कहाँ आगे जाने वाली?
ये हम लोगों ने 2022 में जब शुरू किया था, दिल्ली में किया था शुरू। हमने इसका ऐसा प्लान किया था कि ये हमारी 2025 तक की प्रोजेक्ट है, सितंबर 2025, और हमारा ये माना था कि उन्होंने 1 मिलियन बोला था, बट हम 2 मिलियन से ज़्यादा लोगों को इससे बेनिफिट कर पाएंगे। दिल्ली के बाद हम नागपुर में लेके आए, नागपुर में दिसंबर में 31 को ख़त्म हुई। यहाँ 10 फरवरी को हो रही है, इसके जुलाई तक होगी, 6 महीने यहाँ रहेगी। उसके बाद अब फिर यहाँ से बेंगलुरु जाएंगे, साउथ इंडिया में कवर करना है, और उसके बाद हम कलकत्ता जाएंगे। वहाँ पे लास्ट हमारा जो लेग होगा कलकत्ता में, क्योंकि एग्जीबिशन वहाँ पे ख़त्म होगी। साथ में जो मोबाइल साइंस है वो उसके जहाँ पे लोकेशन है उसके जो स्टेट है, अपना खुद का स्टेट और नेबरिंग स्टेट्स, वहाँ के रूरल एरियाज़ में ही जाएगी, क्योंकि वहाँ वैक्सीन के बारे में बहुत से अच्छे डेमॉन्स्ट्रेशन हैं, बहुत से ऐसे एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जो बच्चों को थोड़ा प्रेरित करते हैं साइंस, जो बायोलॉजिकल साइंस है उसके बारे में जानने के लिए।
Hi Helen, welcome to first of all the Nehru Science Center, and my question to you is we have seen a pandemic era which is emotional as well as a proud moment for everyone globally. So how do you see, and what is your comment on today's exhibition, that what it is showcasing to the world?
We're thrilled to see the exhibition. We think it looks absolutely fantastic. Together with our partners here at NCSM, we shared a lot of the initial thinking and research, but we have each made our own versions of the exhibition. So we have one showing currently in London, which will also go to Manchester and Edinburgh, and that includes some Indian stories, such as the wonderful example of the Serum Institute of India. I think that story needs to be told much more widely. And then to see how our Indian colleagues have made the exhibition here in India is really inspiring and interesting as well, because I think that as you say, it's not just medical facts, this whole story. It's about how we lived through it. It's about a whole lot of decisions and how we felt about it. And if we forget those things, we may not be as prepared in the future, and there definitely will be future pandemics. We don't know what and why, but we have to learn from what's happened in the past. So I hope that the exhibitions tell something of that.
Of course, every event or every effort has got a support. And how do you see that the Indian government nowadays supporting these kind of initiatives? And of course, India has also been proven as a Vishwa Guru, as you also mentioned, the Serum Institute. And after that, the Indian government efforts for quick trials, results and approval. So how do you see that?
Yes. Well, I can't presume to know the details of what's happening here in India, but I've certainly heard a lot about some fantastic scientific research.
Chandrayaan 3?
Oh, we know about Chandrayaan 3, we certainly do. We watch the Indian space effort with great interest and hope to tell that story as well. We know that there is a lot more to come from the Indian space stories, such as humans landing on the moon and that kind of thing.
Given me a question, of course, when you talk about the space,
Yes.
what kind of collaborations from London Science Museum would be seen in the near future with Indian counterparts to display that the proud moments which India has also contributed towards the space?
Okay, that's a really good question. It takes us a very long time, several years, to develop a new permanent gallery, but that is our ambition at the Science Museum. Space is one of our most popular subjects for our visitors, and we have 3.5 million visits a year. So we are now starting to reach out to space sectors around the world, to advisors with expertise, but hopefully with technology as well that we can show to our visitors in London. But that will be several years away. In the meantime, we can do some smaller things. It already included some ISRO scientists in some of our events and talks, and we know that there are some great stories about women working in the space sector in India, and about the very economical way that India has gone about its space program. I think there is a lot to be learned there. So it will start small, but build up to, we hope, a good representation of India in our new gallery in a few years' time.
My last question to you, it is of course a general question. When we see the journey from the first man who landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong,
Yes.
then of course to the today's world which is globally collaborating in various things, how the world is coming together in terms of space innovations and what changes you are seeing, because you are from the London Science Museum seeing all the scientific experiments on day-to-day basis. So what is your take on that?
I'm very much an amateur, I have to say. I'm not a scientist myself, because my team and I are here to build the international partnerships. But from what we see, there is great endeavour. Countries, people on the moon are going to be a bit further in the future than they'd hoped. But I think as long as we are all learning together and sharing the basic information collectively, we'll be able to move forward. and hopefully all for peaceful missions. You know, the United Nations has an Office for Outer Space Affairs that governs peaceful exploitation of space. So that's my hope, that we continue down that track in a peaceful and collaborative way.
Your words, make me go to our G20 presidency, which India has headed recently. One Earth, one family, one future. So it is the way, I guess. You agree with that?
I would do, yes. And of course, space is not all just about planetary exploration. Satellites and things govern, how we communicate, how we travel, monitoring climate change impacts, that sort of thing. So they're already impacting on us in our lives already. And again, we need global cooperation, because there is so much up there as well that it needs to be regulated, and how we bring it back, or what we do with all the stuff that we're sending up there.
Listen, and welcome to the True Hunt. And today is a valuable day showcasing the vaccination during the pandemic, which was essential for the world. My question to you is, of course, with the global world contribution, India has also played a bigger role, as a big brother role, coming as a Vishwa Guru, giving a vaccine which was done after trials, then results, and then approvals. Procedure was more prompt as compared to the earlier days. So how the global world is seeing India in terms as a Vishwa Guru?
I think that India is definitely standing very tall on the world stage at the moment after the G20. I had the privilege of attending the culture and education ministerial parts of the G20, and it was really amazing to see the strength of collaboration and leadership that India was giving during that whole process. Together, India and the UK can really collaborate on research and innovation to bring some of the best solutions together to benefit many people, not just in both of our countries, but also the world. And also with the liberalisation of the national education policy, the opportunities for UK universities to collaborate with Indian institutions to create the solutions for the future is just becoming easier and easier, and we're really delighted to partner with India.
Of course, today is vaccinations showcasing that how the pandemic era has been and how the world has collaborated in that era. My question to you is, India has done a bigger innovation going on the moon, Chandrayaan 3, which is recognized by the world. And as you were speaking about the education part, we have got a new education policy. So how the UK and the world is seeing those criteria as well for collaborating with us in the future?
Yes. Well, it's incredible. I mean, the fact that India was the first country to land on that side of the moon is just really incredible. I was really proud to be here in India when that happened. And of course, the UK will be using the data that will be coming back from Chandrayaan 3 to benefit scientific collaborations and innovations in the UK, but also for the rest of the world. There are so many UK universities who are coming to India to explore ways of deepening that partnership. Just in the last few months alone, I've met many UK universities coming through to Delhi who want to partner with Indian universities. Some of the best institutions in the world are here. We're really looking forward to more and more UK students coming here to benefit from the education that India has to offer, and more Indian students going to the UK to benefit from the best of the UK science and innovation universities as well.
Sir, of course, you've been associated with the Atomic Institute, and I would like to ask you that you have seen more closely the scientific experiments and the innovation going in India, and especially during the pandemic, where India has stood as a Vishwa Guru, developing vaccination more quickly, more promptly. So how do you see that?
Well, I think the science infrastructure, science activities and the ongoing programs in India have really evolved. And talking in terms of the development of vaccine in this pandemic, I think vaccines have been kind of invented and deployed on large scale in some of the shortest possible time scale. Otherwise, normally vaccine development is a long journey, but then when the need arose, the whole discovery deployment cycle time was made very short. And that has been possible because there are laboratories, there are researchers, and there is an infrastructure to kind of do all that. So that's an evidence that the scientific infrastructure which has been built over years is really come of age and can deliver the challenges that come around.
Sir, as you mentioned that scientific infrastructure has been built up over the years, so I would like to ask you, in the recent past Chandrayaan-3 mission on Moon, and the other mission also was there for us to see, and so what changes have been, why so promptness we see in the system? Of course, scientists from the past also respected equally to their contribution in the scientific innovation. So how do you see that?
Well, I think it's good to see things happening, but I think the big difference is you people, how much you carry and how you carry. So it suddenly appears as if things are happening fast. Having said that, I think it's important that all this development and all these stories must reach people.
What I could say that there is a pace which has taken place in the scientific innovations, and of course the R&Ds also. So how do you see that?
Well, that's a good thing. There's no question of. But it's not as if it was not happening earlier and it's happening now. It is. See, what really, if you kind of demand something from some people, obviously people rise to occasion. So you demand this will be done. So it's the total ecosystem that matters, and it's nice to see that.
That means demand is being recognized.
Demand is being made, and wherever demand is being made, things are happening. Wherever demand is not being made, you don't see things happening. So.
Last words, of course, I'll take you to the exhibition now. Sir, of course, it is an international traveling exhibition showcasing the pandemic era, the development of vaccination. So how do you rate these kind of exhibition and making a contribution towards the community?
No, I think it's wonderful. See, the point is the way this pandemic was handled. It's an incredible story, both not just from the vaccine development and invention perspective, but also taking it all the way to people, the deployment, management of the whole pandemic. I think from every angle, this is an incredible story, and the exhibition does document that, does bring out an authentic story behind the handling of pandemic.
Sir, of course, India has shown its potentials as a Vishwaguru, especially during the pandemic. We have got the first vaccination developed, Covishield, which is named on 16th of January 2021 with the help of Serum Institute, and of course after that the trials, results and the approval. So showcasing those events in this exhibition, showcasing the world that what the potential has been. Of course, the collaborative efforts with the global world were also seen. So what would you like to say on that, please?
I firstly want to say that vaccines have saved billions of lives during this pandemic, not only in India, but all across the world. It has been revolutionary. We've had vaccines developed by every science organization or every country. India has taken a lead role. But what I would really like to commend the powers that be, the government that was in charge of distribution of these vaccines in India is phenomenal. We've got a very large country, we've got a very large population. Just imagine having to vaccinate and then revaccinate more than 1 billion people. I think that remained a challenge. Vaccine development has been phenomenal. The speed of light at which the governments across the world have contributed along with the scientists in developing the vaccine. But I think India should pat itself on the back for the speed at which it's completely distributed these vaccines and the number of lives that they've saved because of that.
Sir, I would like to ask you, as I was going through the exhibition, there was a comment by the Honorable WHO dignitary thanking India and its PM on the prompt action regarding the distribution of vaccine globally also. And in the African countries also, India has played a major role. So what would you like to comment on that?
I think, like I said previously, the Prime Minister and the government in charge has not only distributed vaccines in India, but also to some of the underdeveloped countries that needed these vaccines really. I think so. Kudos to them. They've done a great job. And I think everything else set aside, we must commend them for what the speed at which they acted during the pandemic, because it was an ongoing pandemic. And to vaccinate, like I said, twice over 1 billion people, it's a task. So congratulations to them on doing it.